And pow!
Hey, good morning.
What is up?
Not a lot, man. Happy Monday.
Yes, indeed. Oh, it feels good to actually just be back and be live.
Yeah.
I've been, contractor chaos and having moisture readings and a bunch of other shit that, I'm like, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it looks dry to me.
We'll do it live. Go ahead. Let's go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How's it going, man?
It was good. It's good. I mean, the rain kind of bummer morning, but
Yeah.
it's one of the few times that usually the sun comes like straight through my doors in the bedroom, and so that wakes me up. And this morning I didn't have like that get out of bed.
Oh yeah. No, today is like stay in. Today is like
I really wanted.
I don't know if I officially have seasonal affective disorder, but it sure feels like it, man. Because it's like I don't give a shit about what anybody says about the heat or what. I'm like, dude, give me summer.
Mm-hmm.
Give me like sunlight until 9 p.m. I don't care. No rain.
The sunset at 5:30 like kills me because like my body like once it gets dark, like I'm like, oh, it's nighttime. Like it's time for nighttime stuff. But like usually,
right
in the summertime we're working.
Oh, dude, yeah.
9,
you're uploading files at 11.
Oh, no problem.
From a twilight shoot.
But
here it's like it's dark. Now that is the only upside of the actual winter is if you actually do it twilight. It's like okay, I'm done by 6.
Yeah, it does feel like I can still have dinner, like a decent dinner after
it's
work's
like
done.
there's still day left.
Yeah
versus. But I much prefer the summer.
Yeah.
And just many reasons. Workflow, busy, sunlight, I hate having to wear a coat. It's like, so I'm a layered guy.
I just had, I'm trying to do thin layers.
Oh yeah, dude.
This year
You laid out.
I laid out my, I laid out my clothes night before. We were talking a little bit about that. Like, it resets my brain to because if you lay out your clothes, you have to check the weather. And look like who am I going to be meeting, and kind of look at your day. Like you have to run yourself mentally through the day, and that kind of I guess takes my stress level down a notch. And then
absolutely.
The act of laying it out just takes one thing away. Because how many times I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I wake up and I'm like, where are my socks? Or I don't have any underwear. I didn't.
So
do the laundry,
I have gone fully if you took that and then just went psycho. I literally have 17 or so of these shirts. Same with the underwear. I have probably 5 or 6 pairs of these jeans. I have 4 of these sandals. Dozens of these. So today I wore socks because of the weather, and then I probably have half a dozen of these, 2 different colors. So it's always
Steve Jobs of
it's a combination of those. Yeah, it's a combination of those,
Yeah.
and they don't make black jeans worth a shit anymore, or else I'd have those.
Yeah, and I did that for years too, where I had because when I first started the real estate media stuff, I was slacks and a button down, right, and I've kind of worked my way into pajamas essentially, like joggers and that Under Armour tech tee,
right,
and I wore that forever. Same thing. I got 15 of those in the closet. I've got a stack of those.
Yes.
Of those black.
I'm currently I'm the older version of Austin, where Austin has the thing where it's shorts around the unless it's single digit weather outside, he's wearing shorts and the hat backwards and all that. So it's okay, I'll wear long pants every day. That's my concession.
So my wife, who has to see me every day, is the one that's kind of okay, you've got to get. Now I'm signed up for Stitch Fix, so now I have to get. Because I need to get new wardrobe stuff because for years, I mean 60 hours a week, 52 weeks a year. We were shooting 3 or 4 shoots a day. That's all I was wearing because sun up to sundown, you saw me in my get up because.
Well, yeah, and you never know where you're going to be as far as okay, and I'm also going to walk 17,000 steps today. So it's I need this to be comfortable, and so it needs to be built for comfort, not speed. And that's how I morphed, and then I morphed that into embracing the goofball, I'm the creative or whatever.
Oh yeah, I think there's definitely value in people you showing up the guy with the unkempt hair and the dirty. He must be really good if he's still keeping that guy around.
Right, like me going full Gandalf or whatever, where it's okay, I guess he knows what he's doing.
He's got to.
Yeah,
right?
he certainly acts like it.
Yeah, he shows up here. Anyway, what else?
Let's see. So hopefully, my upstairs is dry.
Okay.
So when we're done here, I will go meet the guys. It's I've learned more about water damage and moisture control and mitigation than I ever wanted to.
We should have had Brian. We should have called an audible last week and had Brian and Brenda. We had A Action Inspection in here shooting their podcast. We should have had them come here and just talk about water
and
damage.
It didn't even occur to me because I was on my way to go meet the guys again because they come in and they go up on the ladder. I hear beeping and stuff or whatever, and then I hear sheetrock getting cut, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell they're doing, but it certainly seems like they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And the real takeaway was the guy from Allstate said like, oh no, those guys are, like that's exactly what needed to be done or whatever. And that's the other thing, like insurance claims and all the other bullshit that's attached to it. It's like, I feel very grown up through all of this.
Yeah. Lots of paperwork.
Yeah. And then over the weekend, just more AI rabbit holes and, it's the whole thing where everybody's posting, our plan for 2026 or this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, okay, well, in 2026, I just want to kind of like ramp up everything a little bit on the, not necessarily the automated side, but just the what is doable. And so like Teresa and I were kind of going back and forth on, hey, what about could we have a theme song? What if we added and I'm really into the idea of where the podcasts have like the teaser question, like the old thing, like the old 10 o'clock news that have the teaser at 5 p.m. like, is your living room about to kill you? And then it's like tune in at 10, and then that would be all the way at the end of the 10 o'clock news or whatever.
The final segment.
Man, the whole time you're like 5 hours of sweating it.
Hold on, I got to figure. Nobody's making dinner until we finish this segment.
Yeah. And so like taking that and morphing that into the content, and then the other thing was getting a little bit more dialed in with the capabilities of everything. So like this is just a little bit of brand kit extension where I took everything that Colette, shout out to Colette, the brand kit is kick-ass. So I color-coded everything, drop in the logo, everything's color-coded, matches her little, I love the cards, because like she's super prepped. And then also thinking, I put the end tag, the outro, where now this can be repurposed every single time so we can link out to the actual show. Because the one thing is, and you've said this a bunch of times, where the short form content is here to promote the long form content because that's what begat it. And so the idea is, okay, you have the long form. In Teresa's case, it's anywhere from say 11 minutes to 45 minutes. And the shorts that are pulled from that get thousands of views, and then the show might get a couple hundred, in various locations or a couple hundred downloads. And it's like, okay, well, how to merge that? And so the AI rabbit hole there is like, okay, so coordinating everything with the brand kit, the handouts, the recaps, the transcripts, and all of that. So it's like one of the things that I've learned this whole entire, like doing her show the entire year, is that once you have the system, there are a bunch of different tools that literally force multiply everything that you do. And so now we can take a transcript of her show, turn that into a handout and like a study guide or an advice column or whatever you'd want to call it. Because the thing is, she's coming from the not only female in business thing, but it's like, you're herding cats of 600 agents. That's a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like, there's a lot of wisdom there that you can't really glean in a short or in a 7-minute episode unless it's on that specific topic. But then then the idea is that I'm percolating is like, okay, we will have 52 episodes that then we will distill down, we'll boil it down to its base elements, pull that, take that and get her sort of narrative thread of philosophy, and then turn that into like the PDF handbook that is like the upside guide to whatever, So that's the thing that gets me really fired up is the rabbit hole that begat like 17 other rabbit holes, and then coming out on the other side.
They all come out of the same place.
Yes, and then they all come out and so here I have one other rabbit hole that I went down over the weekend. Replit is coding and website building AI.
Okay.
So I'm like, hey, build me all I really want is another landing page that I can use to experiment where we drive traffic. Dude, all of this came from just a few lines of prompts, and it literally spit out a totally complete landing page. And I was suitably impressed, and then I felt bad for everybody out there that designs websites or whatever, because it's one of those, it's like a, man, it's like an Armageddon situation. But here now the trick will be like, okay, this is really good and impressive, like boom, like top card right off the deck or whatever. But how easy is it to dial it in on the back end where like, okay, now you're going to hyperlink stuff?
Yeah, I was going to say like how clean is the code? Is like you can make it look really pretty. I mean, essentially you can make this a PDF, right?
Right.
But how clean is the code? How's it going to run?
Right.
When
and
traffic hits it?
Like so far, the aesthetics and the cosmetic.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it looks great.
Sure.
And I'm like, did it create those photos out of thin air? You know what I mean? Because it's just crazy. So that's what I did all weekend.
Cool.
When the jet engines weren't taking off in the bathroom. How about you?
Let's see. I watched a little bit of football. I watched about 6 hours of musicals because we saw Wicked. We started Wicked, the first one, just to rewatch it.
Okay.
On Saturday night, and then we got tickets for the 9 a.m. show to go see the second one. So it was like fresh in our mind.
Oh yeah,
it's a great story, and I like both Kat and I like musicals, and recently from like. We signed up. We're going to see it. I think at the Dallas Performing Arts Center in like April or May.
Is it like where they do the music?
Yeah, like we saw Hamilton there. Like when it comes, like no, they'll do the whole play. Like Dallas Performing Arts Center, they've got like a Broadway Dallas that does some really great stuff. Yeah,
I've seen. I've seen
we saw Hamilton there. My friends went and saw, I think, the Book of Mormon there. I didn't get to see that one. And then we're gonna go see Wicked for that one.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. So that was cool. And then I worked on BeLocal stuff. I went down some rabbit holes on some.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So what do we got on the BeLocal front?
Oh, well, first off, I want to kick off like things going on this week. So in Plano. And a lot of things I should have done this last week because I was like, man, I need to be talking a little bit about what's happening in Plano on this podcast with consistency. So we've got the Turkey Trot coming up. That's on Thursday. It's like the 5K, 10K run. It goes off at, starts at 9 a.m. I'm guessing if you know, the Turkey Trot happens every year. I mean, a lot of big cities have that. 2801 East Spring Creek Parkway at 9 a.m. is when it kicks off. If I know my addresses, I believe that's right next to Collin College, Spring Creek campus.
Okay.
Right. So that's got 5Ks, 10Ks, walkers. It's a fun thing. And then one event that grabbed me this week will be pet photos with Santa. So soft spot in my heart. I'm probably going to drag Kat and Snickers over there. That is today from 4 to 7 p.m. at the shops at Willow Bend. So that is today. On. Today is November 24th. Sorry for all of you guys that just got this late. Shops at Willow Bend at the Neiman Marcus Court in Plano. So those are two things that I thought were cool. What did I got thinking a lot about, I was kind of in my hustle porn thing this weekend.
Yes.
But I don't really get into that. Like I was thinking I was getting on like abundance and like abundance mindsets and realizing like how much easier it becomes to like have conversations and talk to people about what I'm doing, my new venture.
Yes.
Would you recognize that like there are more people out there that need what you have than you could possibly serve well? And like understanding that really takes the pressure off of like every single interaction.
Yes.
Just being like, hey man, like
it isn't like, oh my God, I have to kill something so I can eat.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, exactly. So like that mindset makes it, and I was like, okay, now I can, instead of focusing on like how do I get everyone, it's like, how do I get the right people? And the same thing with the podcast studio. I was like doing math with the studio. I was like, okay, how many weekly podcasts do we have right now?
4 or 5.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
So like 5. So if it's 5, that is what, 60 something hours a week.
Yeah.
Or a month. A month that comes out. And you're like, okay, well now if we did 4, we'd be really busy if we did 4 podcasts a day, 5 days a week.
Yes.
Like it'd be swamped. So that's 20 and we have 5. Like we're 25% full of being completely full and like busting at the seams. At
capacity. Yeah.
Right. So now you start thinking when I start having these conversations, people getting more interested. I find in the podcast because everybody's really interested in what we do here. I find being more qualifying instead of just being like, yeah, come on in, kick the tires, do the thing. I'm like, so what are you trying to do?
Right.
Like what? Well, and tell me that you bake this some way where I'm not going to be. You know, because I would rather have no clients than a bad client.
Right.
Every time. Right.
And half the time you end up talking folks out of doing it because, you know, everybody sees the sexy and cool side, or they see the thing like, okay, so Investor Jerry, we have breakfast the other day, and he goes, holy shit, Studio USA is all over. So, you know, like, where it's like, cool. That's the takeaway that we want.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, it's nothing but an endless fountain of content. And for us, at the studio side, that's all it needs to be because that is actually what we do. Like we don't put up fences, we don't fix roofs, we don't do anything other than make content. So the idea of just having shitloads of content kind of serves the purpose. But on the flip side of that, on the client side, it's like, okay, well, why do you want to do a podcast? And what are you going to talk about? And
what would be success in your eyes 6 months from now? And like that's a good to think like what positive tangible result are you looking to get from this, and how are you going to measure that, right? And like those types of questions get them thinking like, am I ready? Right, most of them don't have answers to that, and I really don't expect a really baked answer.
Yeah, every once in a while you'll have the outlier like Teresa, where the day that Andrea Miller introduced us, she and Colette had been working for weeks on the brand kit for the show, and she had everything dialed in all the way down to like the David Letterman style flashcards, and then she came in that first time and knocked out 3 episodes, and I was like, whoa, okay, the exception that proves the rule.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you'll have that unicorn that walks in with it in the can that just want a space. And there's a couple of people that talk about like, hey, I've already got a podcast. Let me show it to you. Like it looks like this. And,
well, like Bess, like shout out to Bess Dixon with Sotheby's, where she came up afterwards. She goes, okay, well, I'll reach out to you, like after Thanksgiving, because I think I want to do like at your location, but have my girl that is like her coordinator and or like media producer or whatever, brand ambassador. Take care of the back end. And it's like, that's the easiest thing in the world for us, where we can literally churn out endless amounts of just either raw footage or tailored clips or anything. Then if you know what to do with it, woohoo, mazel tov, let's go, versus like what you were saying, where you're having the conversations of let's like walk in the shallow end and let's see, is the water too cold? And do you have the gas in the tank to go? Because I posted last week. Last week was 100. Today is 102 weeks in a row.
I saw that. We missed the 100. We missed the centennial.
Yes.
I saw that. I saw it when it was 101. And I was like,
yeah. It didn't even occur to me.
Yeah.
And Restream is weird on sending that particular update.
Yeah.
Because it used to be every time you went live, it would tell you. And now it's, I don't know, like every 5th time.
I think you're probably sick of it. Yeah. After 2 years, you're like, all right.
But 101 weeks, and it was like, I never even intended to do it for a month, let alone 101 weeks.
That's
it was
consecutive, right?
You're doing consecutive weeks. It won't count it if you break the streak. So it's 101 weeks now, 102 weeks in a row, with really it just being proof of concept in the beginning, and to try to teach the guys how to use the stuff.
Is it just counting things going live?
Yes. No, I'm sure it probably counted anything posted through Restream, but I don't think there's a week that we didn't go live.
That is one thing that a lot of people find interesting about what we do versus a lot of the other. I mean, because there are little studios popping up. There's a lot of people with ideas that grab like a camera and microphone. Like, I can do this.
Oh yeah.
The fact that we do this live is actually something that's very different.
Well, and the other thing, like what I would tell anybody is, try to go live. Because then you'll see like what it's really like, and the other thing is, it will remove any kind of, well, I guess once you get over the fact that it is live and you're talking, it will remove performance anxiety because there's no do-over.
You can't so like I think that's what it solved for me, and it's been months and months and months since I started doing this with you, but the fact that we'd never get any content done if you sat me down here and it was pre-recorded. Because like pause, I want to rephrase that. Oh, I didn't like my voice inflection.
I've talked.
Yeah, and so like you start dissecting, getting inside your own head, and then you just,
forget
diminishing returns. It gets worse and worse and worse. And we've all experienced that where we've got a client that's just in their head they can't remember like the property address or like anything they're saying.
Yep. And how many times you're like, well, why don't you just do it then? Because they start to get frustrated or whatever, and trip on their tongue, and that's just human nature. And it's like, putting this hat on any other business is not natural.
Tough.
And for us to be able to be the content creator, and then of course like what you're doing with BeLocal, where it's like, okay, now you're going to be like essentially like the mayor of the Plano activity universe, and who you bring into that will be vetted, but not necessarily camera ready to just come in and be like, oh hey, And that's the thing that I really enjoy, is getting somebody where they're just absolutely green, and then they become seasoned, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, they no longer have the anxiety. They can come in, and it also helps where they do homework and they come in with like pre-formatted ideas, or hey, what about this, or hey, what about this? Like, absolutely that, because that just makes my life easier. But most of what we do is like the proof of concept thing, where yes, we can take 20 minutes of blathering and turn it into 17 pieces of content that actually makes sense, pulled out of context. Which I want to think maybe in 2026 we'll maybe dial in a little bit more deliberate as far as, give me your thoughts on this, where it was like, okay, let's say we formulated 3 ideas where, okay, here are the 3 bullet points that on Monday morning I want to like talk. I'm going to do it live, but I'm going to talk directly to the camera, so the AI will pull that as a specific, and literally we could sit here and be like, okay, now I'm not gonna read the script, but here's my bullet points, and now I'm gonna go and action and do that, where to show people how it's done and to show them in real time, and then to show A to B. Like, okay, let's juxtapose. Here it was live, where it looks like kind of random, or like we sort of had a plan, versus completely removed from the source, and now it looks like, oh, they did that on purpose, because there's so much stuff that can be done that looks different later than it does in the moment. And that's another thing that folks don't realize, where it's like, oh yeah, if you have 2 people just, blathering on about whatever and telling like, oh, the craziest thing, I fell through the roof or whatever. Well, in the moment, that's cool. But that's the hook, where when it's only 7 seconds, that's the thing that brings people in.
You play that first as your visual hook and your audio hook, and then you bring in the story, and then it's, we need those little nuggets.
Oh, and one of the things that it's like I'm going to start doing with Teresa's stuff is carving it up a little bit more intentionally, because the AI is a great wood chipper.
I'd say it's a hatchet. We need a scalpel. So we do, same thing.
I like that.
Yeah, same thing.
And also getting the editors and everybody on the back end to like, hey, let's make this have a cogent thought. Like where it's like, okay, it gives you this. Well, you can go in and kind of
give me 5 seconds on the end, or pull the thought
like,
before it on the beginning.
Yes.
And that's what I play with usually same thing. We just throw it into AI, wood chipper it out, and you come out and you're like, okay, like almost.
Yes.
Luckily there's some editing. We can
I assume that will probably get better over time.
100%.
But like you've said it many times,
we've gone from 0 to this.
Right. And right now is the worst it's ever going to be.
Yeah. The worst.
So what's next for? Okay, so we got a lot of stuff coming up next week.
What is coming up next week?
Disrupt Her.
Yep.
Is the first.
God, it's December. Man.
Yes. The Real Producers Mastermind is the second, and then we're gonna do Teresa's show live from DPR on the 3rd.
Okay.
And now we're actually gonna do a double decker. So the alternative Alt Wednesday will go live from KW in the morning at 9:30ish. I don't know, whatever. If we can get it to work. This is assuming, of course, that this presupposes that we get it to work.
Okay.
Now we did the test run and it did work, but this is going to be crazy, and I'll be interested to hear your thoughts and ideas and what we could do logistically for a 5-person show where she's got everybody in her office that does a podcast is going to do a panel with her. And so it's like, okay, yeah, let's go ahead.
We're going to have, Teresa's going to MC a panel of 4 others?
Yeah, 4 others.
Okay. This is going to be shot like the 5?
Yeah.
Like around a half circle table type thing?
Yeah, something. Or but like, that the room is gigantic.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll be packed to the rafters with that, because like you said, everybody wants to know, what is the Colonel's herbs and spices? Like, what are the secret sauce?
When you say we're doing this live, we're doing live studio audience too.
Oh, yeah, it's live all the way.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right.
It's one of those where she threw it out there and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, love it. That's totally something we just did this last week. So
right, but without going live.
Well, plug it into the internet. If we had a hardwire, we easily could have made that a live.
Very true.
Show.
Very true.
Yeah.
And
right, Austin. We probably would have needed like a laptop.
Yeah, you need a laptop
to run
Restream.
Yeah,
because that's what we did when we did it in the lobby.
Short of
which not a problem. But last week was kick-ass. We didn't even mention that.
Oh yeah, I still have people like calling, texting everybody I see. Is just like, hey, like, by the way, it was very cool to see behind the scenes, to see like that environment. I guess it's a voyeurism. Like most people want to say,
yes.
like, how's the podcast made? And then just to bring it to them and be like, here's how.
Well, and it's human nature where you see the end product and you just think it magically, form falls out of the sky. And it's like, no, not even close.
Yeah.
And the idea to pull that off, even though we didn't go live, we could have, but we didn't go. It was essentially live with the live audience, and we were, recorded in front of a live studio audience. Like the old like 70s sitcom or whatever. But they kicked ass. The only thing that I wish we would have had was a camera operator that could have followed Ashley.
That's kind of when we had the camera back. That was my initial idea, and I was talking with Austin about it. I was like, okay, let me just keep this camera one, and I'm going to follow the MC, and then like run to the 2-shot. Right,
but I think we were better served once it opened up to where you were kind of Donahue, like running around with the microphone.
Yeah.
If anybody out there even gets that reference.
I actually don't get that reference.
Okay,
Which one?
So Phil Donahue was like the middle-aged white guy version of what Oprah became.
Yeah.
He was the vanguard, the tip of the spear of the standard panel. He wasn't necessarily.
This isn't quite like Jerry Springer or Ricky Maury Povich.
This would have been legitimate interview broadcast style. They would have been like the primordial ooze that all of that other crazy shit came out of later. But Donahue was like, he had that very avuncular delivery, and he'd run to the people.
Oh, okay.
And so like he would be emceeing the show, and it would be whoever. It might be famous people, or it might be like some sort of political thing or whatever. But then when the people would ask, he would like haul ass,
like
all
run to
over
the
place.
audience to ask questions. Okay,
yeah. And then Oprah kind of adopted that, but then she morphed into Oprah, but yeah, so like,
I just remember like Ricky Lake, Maury Povich, like when I was a little kid, like those are always like daytime TV stuff, and they'd run around,
Crash TV, or and then like the Springer thing where you'd have the guy who always is the blocker, like the blocking fullback or whatever, that is up there in front of him while he's asking shit, and somebody comes charging up. Ridiculous.
Is TV better now? Is it better or worse?
Boy, that's a good question.
I consume differently, so I don't really get exposed to a lot of the TV that's on.
It's like,
does that make sense?
I don't know if that genre still exists, because then that morphed into reality TV, where it gave the illusion of not being scripted.
Because Kat's still watch Big Brother. Like we watch like I don't watch like real world type things, but Kat's still into Big Brother. It's like do you know that show?
I know,
it's a reality TV
I know
show.
the
It's the
format.
only one that I actually know of. I'm sure there's plenty.
Like I knew The Real World from like the 90s. Or whatever.
They were in Austin when I was in college.
Oh wow,
They were not very popular.
Oh,
it was tough. They had to cut that really in, because it's just they weren't. Austin didn't really vibe with like the MTV.
That's not what we're
scene.
about down there.
Yeah, it was interesting,
and it's not a very Texas thing to do. Like, hey, let's like pull up the skirt and like walk around and like get drunk and but it is that voyeuristic thing. But I don't know, because I don't really watch I haven't watched broadcast TV in forever. And like the only thing I've watched that's currently like new is the Welcome to Derry HBO show, the Stephen King universe or whatever.
Nope.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, you're familiar with like it.
Oh yeah,
okay, and then like the sort of like Stephen King universe or whatever. So this is, I guess for lack of a better term, a prequel to the It movies. But so Stephen King was like one of the icons of my youth, like as a tweener and teenager or whatever. All of his, what I would consider his good shit, was coming out like from I was on like 12 to 25 or whatever. And so I was just ate up with it, because that was the genre stuff was my wheelhouse anyhow. So to see something come out now that is actually good versus like some sort of weird watered down kind of like bullshit version is awesome. And one of the things about Stephen King, or at least back in the day, he would never flinch from like the old Hollywood thing. You don't kill the kid, you don't kill the dog. And like the reason John Wick works is because they killed the dog. And it's like, okay,
right, scene one.
Yeah, now I want John Wick to kill everybody. And it's like now you're rooting for him, like no matter how fantastical it gets or whatever. And at the end where it's like, oh, that's the son of a bitch that got the dog. It's like you want that to happen. Well, that's the way with like Stephen King, and they lean into that, which in today's world they usually wouldn't. But like the end of like spoilers, it's like holy shit, like there's kid carnage everywhere, and it's like whoa, okay, I'm in.
Is this actually like Pennywise?
Yes.
It is there.
Yes.
Okay,
and so like it's done by the same guy that did the two movies. And that first one, the It Part 1, phenomenal, like absolutely flawless. The second one, meh.
Okay.
It was like you wonder, like, dude, how did you, like, you just caught the impossible ball, and then the very next play you're wide open and you drop it. What? And but like this, I've redeemed myself. You know, it's like it's cool. But that's the only thing
I'm
watch.
gonna stay on Pennywise for a second. Are you so Pennywise preys after children, right?
It eats for your fear.
So he does whatever you fear. It becomes
and of course,
that,
like kids would be
the
best engine for that.
Yeah, because they've got all sorts of. So the way to defeat him is just not to be afraid.
Yes.
Are you familiar with Harry Potter?
I know the movies.
Okay.
In passing.
There's a creature in Harry Potter called a Bogart, which is essentially Pennywise. It is a creature that will turn into whatever you fear and prey off the fear to defeat you. And the only way to not.
When they actually like riff on that.
Yeah, well, so I just thought it was interesting. So, like, now it has changed for me because I realize now it is just a bunch of muggles, like non-magical people, kids, having to defeat this creature that, like, all the magical kids in Hogwarts, like, struggle with using their magic and their wands and all this. And all these kids have to learn how to
they've
not be
introduced a
afraid.
couple of different, like, Native American things that aren't in the original book. It might mention it in passing, but it has a lot more. And then the other cool thing is I love the world building stuff. They actually tie in Scatman Crothers' character from The Shining.
Okay, cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it's really like, oh shit, like his origin story has a lot to do with it, where I don't remember him being in the actual novel.
Did that feel forced, or was it kind of a...
It's one of those things where you don't know it's him until they do the reveal. And now I have to go watch Dr. Sleep because that's the sequel to The Shining that I had no interest in. And now all of the nerd, I still have all my nerd accounts or whatever, and all my flame war. I just like to argue like with nerds and stuff. And unfortunately, like most stuff sucks.
Yeah.
So like I do like it whenever I can jump on something that's brand new and go like, oh, this is actually good. You know, like
it's called The Dairy.
Oh no, Welcome to Derry.
Derry's a city.
Derry's
or town.
the town.
Yeah. Okay.
So the whole idea is that Derry it's basically like if you ever watched Buffy, the Hellmouth.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, Derry's the Hellmouth. But instead of all the crazy shit that comes out of the Hellmouth where it's Monster of the Week, it's just it. And then Pennywise being the main manifestation of it.
Is this like a limited series?
I want to say it's an ongoing. It's like there's 8 episodes or whatever. I think last night was 5, episode 5, and it was the first one that like the actual Skarsgård as it shows up.
Yeah,
and it was like, oh, okay. And it's like I love the fact that they're kind of leaning in to give the people what they want versus like, oh no, it's reimagined for modern audiences. It's like, let's not do that every single time. That's not necessary.
Yeah.
But the kids are good too. That's the other thing where like the kids are actually
good.
Yeah, the actors are really good.
That's cool. See, I'm trying. I either want there to be a finite end to a series because I want you to write the whole thing. I want to like just give me a long movie, right? If you're going to do it, I feel like or. I'm totally fine with like if you want to reset at the end of an episode saying like, oh, we're back to the beginning again, so we'll start over. The Simpsons, Family Guy.
Oh yeah, where it's this storytelling engine that never goes, that never
cool.
runs
We'll
out.
see the episode and then because those are consumable regardless. You can pop in anywhere in the story, and I'm fine with that. Where I struggle with most like network television stuff is just like the cash grab. You get something they just hold on to it so tight because like people are watching this. Oh my gosh, we have to think of a 3rd or 5th or 9th season.
Stranger Things is currently that.
Grey's Anatomy. What is it, 17, 18 seasons of Grey's Anatomy?
Holy mackerel.
Something like Kat's seen them all like twice. And I mean, I guess, but like at some time it's like the train flew into the bus and there was a plane crash and everybody had AIDS. And you're like, what is happening? Like what? Like the plots that they have to come up with to keep you engaged.
Everybody should go back and take the page of Faulty Towers. Where
Faulty Towers.
Faulty Towers is the John Cleese post Monty Python show where he's Basil Fawlty, the most obnoxious hotel owner in the Northern Hemisphere.
Okay.
And it's 2 seasons, maybe 14 episodes, maybe 16 at the most. It is absolute perfection. Every single episode is one and done, and it is totally brilliant, and they quit right when they perfected the formula. And it was like, that's it, we're done.
Yeah, when you're out of shit, stop.
Yeah. Or when it's like, you know what? You recognize, this is never going to get better than this. Turn the lights off. And in America, we don't do that.
Usually the person has to die tragically for that to happen, right? Like usually
in America, we don't do that. We're like, there's milk left.
Yeah, let's squeal. He said, we'll stop beating this dead horse when it stops spitting out money.
Exactly.
And I think that's Bo Burnham. I know that.
Dude, that is the state of everything now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so welcome to Dairy. That's the TV tip
cool.
for the week.
For the sake of time, I don't think I'm going to dig into a lot of the BeLocal stuff. I'm gonna come back next Monday and we'll kind of dig into it because I've got some new clients we brought on that are really cool. A lot of fun stuff happening. And we'll probably talk for longer than we need to.
Right. Actually, next Monday is Disruptor.
So I said, the following Monday. Is next Monday? I got to put that stuff on my calendar.
Okay. Because I think it's early. I think it's a morning thing.
Okay.
I have to look at the flyer. I don't know. It's not really. I just know it's on the 1st. So yeah, lots going on.
At Metrotex. Disruptor happens at Metrotex.
Yes.
Big ballroom.
At Metrotex. Yeah, probably the big whole thing.
Okay. Cool.
So that'll be fun. And we're going to take the set. So we'll figure out some sort of use case for it there. Because I think the way that the Disruptor thing is, it's going to be a single speaker or maybe Michelle and Ashley, or one at a time or two at a time. So we'll just mic them up and follow them rather than having like stationary cameras or maybe like one stationary camera and one follow.
Just a little more fluid.
Yeah.
But then we're using their stage and their AV.
Yeah. And then I think we'll probably try to figure out a spot down there where we can do the set like we did at Far North and just do a 2-shot. We're like, okay, 2 people can sit down and talk to each other. Because that's what I'm thinking, like there, it's like that now becomes useful in the like, oh my God, they were so amazing. Yes, they were, like that back and forth. Because one of the things, no offense to anyone, but one of the things is a lot of places like Metrotex or a lot of entities like Metrotex, there's a lot of cool shit that nobody knows it exists.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. And it's like, we can fix that. That can actually I'll dovetail it right back to where exactly what you said. It's like the abundance things comes from the ability to go like, hey, what we do can actually make everything better, more visible, more, prosperous across the board. Why don't we do that? And then it's like, we're not for everybody. And I'm not here to convince anybody. I'm not in the convincing business.
Yeah.
And well, with that, dude, let's rock.
Yeah, cool. Have a good rest of your week. Stay dry.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Take care.